ahead? Don't think so, because the red lights are on, aren't they? So I think we're about to get underway then for the 4th round of the 2020 RLM Racing Bikesports Championship. You have the safety cars in the pit, so we'll have all these 30 sports racing cars about to get underway then. Who's going to make the best start? The red lights are on, and the lights go out now, and they go racing and head many cars across the circuit. Martin Brooks hasn't made a good start. Look at Charles Hall in the Spire around the outside of Joe Stables, and is he going to grab the lead here? There's a moment in the middle. There's 3 or 4 or 5 and 6 cars going round. Let's hope they can all rejoin, but who's got the lead? It is Charles Hall then from 4th on the grid. Great start from him. Then Martin Brooks fighting back now. He's alongside Josh Smith there, but they're both behind Joe Stables. Here comes Smith down the inside of Brooks to get 3rd position. Brooks, the race 1 winner though, hanging on around the outside up over the curves, and these great trainer cars head off towards Abbey, down towards Stone Market.
Yes, Charles Hall then leads in the Spire, tucked right behind his Stables in the 95. He pops out to try to take the run round the outside of Stowe. He gets his nose ahead. Charles Hall has to give best, and so Stables the lead. Hall is in 2nd place. In 3rd is Brooks, who won this morning. Rushing past into the braking area comes Josh Smith in the white and orange car. He's in 4th place ahead of Scott Mittell. Then a gap back to the rest. That's Martin Brooks in the 99. Right behind him, Josh Smith. And then tucking into the slipstream is Scott Mittell. And out front, Stables is beginning to go away. All those cars that were involved in the spins in the first corner got back going again, I'm glad to say.
Pretty amazing first lap, wasn't it?
It was.
Action-packed all the way. That was Ash Hicklin trying to pass Chris Preen into Abbey. Hicklin's come through pretty well from 14th on the grid to the top 10 on lap 1. There's Josh Smith, then 11 in 4th position. But the strong start in Charles Hall now falling away from Joe Stables. Stables who made that great move around the outside of Stowe on the previous lap. Josh Smith has lost 4th now because Scott Mittell's gone past. So the 1 litre car of Mittell up into 4th now then, ahead of Smith as they turn into Stowe Corner. Going with them is Julian Griffiths and Andrew Kimpton, who have made pretty decent starts. As they make their way then down into the Vale, there is Griffiths and Kimpton. I think Kimpton's in the ex-Joe Lock car that did pretty well last year.
Yep.
But yeah, Jules Griffiths going well there in 6th position. Don't really recall seeing him in the earlier race. So that's good for him. Oh, and Chris Preen's ahead of Michael Chen in Class B. So can someone beat Chen for the first time this season? Here comes Scott Mittell on Martin Brooks now. Up the inside comes Mittell, who won all the races here last season on the Silverstone International Circuit. We had 3 races here last year for these cars.
Made it, hasn't he?
Round the outside through that kink, and absolutely up the inside into the link onto the hanger straight. But now will he come under pressure from the cars with the slightly bigger engines behind Brooks and Smith? In the toe of the Mittell, pops out of the toe, just Brooks to the outside, Smith to the inside. Brooks trying to come around the outside of Mittell here, but can't make it. Going to run out wide. So Josh Smith now tries to pounce, but no, doesn't work for him either. This is allowing Stables and Hall up front to get away.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You see the different braking characteristics of those cars, the Mittell and the Radicals. And Scott Mittell very, very committed. Of course, he was a couple of times low-cost champion, wasn't he, in the dim and distance, and he's been quick in whatever he's driven. But had a lot of fun developing these cars with his father over the last 10 or so years, I guess. And he's got himself up into 3rd place, but he's about 1.8 seconds, something like that, behind Charles Hall in 2nd.
There's Ash Hicklin trying to make his way through in his SR3. Things at him in the middle of the 2 Class B cars it is. So Chris Preen and Michael Chen, the 2 Class B leaders, either side there of Ash Hicklin. Then Anthony Ayres just behind. Is Ayres a Class B car? I think he is. Number 58. Yes, Ayres is 3rd within Class B. So 3 laps done, on to lap 4. Fastest lap from Stables, 1:03.36. Side by side there as Hicklin tries to come around the outside of Chris Preen. Is that going to work? If look in the background, he's on the inside line. He may well get that.
Again, it's interesting to see how the SR3s can't live with the PR6s, the centre seat version of the 2nd model of Radical, which was the Pro Sport.
Hicklin run wide there, so that means Preen's back up the inside. And Michael Chen now under pressure from Anthony Ayres, who comes up the inside of him. Oof. Well, they touch a bit there, don't they? And Hicklin's coming around the outside of Chris Preen, but he runs way off the road and has to bail out of that move. And he will rejoin eventually. But still, Ayres and Chen going at it. I think Anthony Ayres has got past Michael Chen. But these three Radical SR3s all running the production engine compared to the tuned engine cars up front. So really Ash Hicklin, I think the only SR3 that's in that top class this season. But a good battle this is for Class B. Anthony Ayres, who was third, is trying to go for the lead now, trying to get the better of Chris Preen around the outside. He can't make that work though. 58, Anthony Ayres. Then chasing, number 2, Chris Preen, who's raced with the 750 Motor Club for a while now. Down into the Vale. And then you've got Michael Chen third in class, then the Class A car behind them, which is 16, which is Ash Hicklin.
Yeah, a bit subdued Hicklin here this weekend. Went so well here last year.
He was on the overall podium. He wasn't at Snetterton, so perhaps hasn't had much time in the car. Here are the overall leaders. Joe Stables has got a good gap of nearly 4 seconds over Charles Hall, who's got Scott Mittal chasing him as they make their way down towards Stowe. Mittal in the tow gets closer, and then they turn right through Stowe corner with Brooks and Smith behind. Interesting that Martin Brooks just hasn't got that pace he had in race 1. Here comes Scott Mittal up the inside down into the Vale, and Hall locks up too, which allows Mittal through, but Hall tries to fight back through the second part of the corner.
And that's could well have exposed Charles Hall to the next two, which are Brooks and Smith. Oh, there's a spinner there. They've all gone round him. That's onto the hanger straight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's 98, I think. And that's Nick Matthews, the Austin Healey racer, having his first outing in a Radical. There's 22. That is Richard Wells in an SR3 RSX, one of the new cars. Here are the PR6s. That's Martin Brooks and Josh Smith.
Yeah, RS stood for Rockingham Speedway. RSX was kind of a special version of it.
So down towards Stowe. 5 seconds behind Joe Stables now are this group, being led now by Scott Mittal, then Charles Hall, Martin Brooks and Josh Smith. Such quality in this battle, but they are quite a bit behind the leader.
Yeah, I was thinking that Rockingham thing. Of course, back in the dim and distant, you had Cooper naming its car after Monaco because it's Grand Prix car of one at Monaco, and then Lotus had the Lotus Monte Carlo, and now we've got the radical Rockingham Speedway, the late Rockingham Speedway.
Now a car park. Into Abbey. Charles Hall, can he squeeze past a slower car there? Just about. There goes Joe Stables past Norman Lackford, lapping him, but Stables losing out in the traffic. 3.5 seconds now the gap. Stables' new best lap, 1:02.68, which is quicker than the previous lap record, but race 1 they went quicker. Let's just see if we can see if that's a new lap record. In race 1 it was a 1:02.5, no, so it's a 10th away from what was Martin Brooks's record in the earlier race. And now Brooks is challenging Charles Hall round the outside into Stowe corner. This time though, Hall's not going to allow that to happen. He brakes later on the inside line and hangs on. Now in the earlier race, Charles Hall comes strong, didn't he, in the second half? So Charles Hall got Brooks now trying to come alongside him. They just lapped Lackford, the driver we heard from before the race, and this has allowed Mittal to really pull away as Charles Hall is defending pretty hard from around the outside. Martin Brooks, that's not going to work, and Brooks runs out of road a bit.
Just understeered a bit and couldn't change trajectory without lifting.
So that's going to give Charles Hall a little bit of room to breathe. The gap down to 3 seconds now between the leaders. Scott Mittal into the 1:02s now, which he done last year, didn't manage this morning. So perhaps a few changes on the setup, and that car going better than it did earlier. Yeah, Mittal only managed 5th in race 1.
3.03 seconds. Hall is a couple of seconds down in 3rd place in the Spine of 77. Brooks is a couple of tenths behind him in the 99 car. Then Smith, Griffiths, Kimpson, Preen and Chen. Preen and Chen are really close together in that battle for B.
Yes, and Anthony Ayres has dropped away a little bit, hasn't he? Third of those cars, just ahead of Richard Wells, another Class B car. Pit boards out to the cars across the line, about of a third. Brooks right with Charles Hall, but can't quite get alongside into Abbey, and of course Abbey not really an overtaking place in these cars particularly. Hall a bit wider through Farm. There's a car though facing the wrong way, so somebody's spun. That's 51. That's Neil Harris in his PR6. Both arms out the cockpit, so not sure if he can't get that car back going when it's in an awkward place. Again, Martin Brooks trying to have a go at Charles Hall as they go through the traffic. Be interesting what pace Brooks could have if he can get past, and he's trying to get alongside Hall here, and he has done so, and he gets down the inside, but Hall breaks later in the back marker. Is that one of the SR1s that gets shuffled out the way? And is that going to allow into third position Martin Brooks? There's Neil Harris, he's got back going then, so that's good.
Overtaken on both sides simultaneously, that was quite exciting for him.
So here we've got the Class B cars in all of this, I think. So there's Hicklin, so he's just ahead of Anthony Ayres, so this is a bit further back actually, because Chen, who's now ahead of Preen, so Michael Chen's got the lead of Class B, and is ahead of this group, and ahead, importantly for him now, of Chris Preen.
And Mattel's had a better lap at 2.72 between first and second now. Stables and Mattel, 95 and 27. Brooks is third.
So he did get past Charles Hall, so that did work.
Hall is fourth. Josh Smith, from his perspective, a fairly subdued fifth in car number 11. Julian Griffiths is in sixth in number 7.
Yeah, on raw pace. I don't think we've seen Josh Smith this far back, but I think that just goes to show the competitiveness of this championship this weekend.
16 Hicklin off the track there momentarily. He's back on it again.
It's Alistair Smart, 73. He's another of those drivers that have come over from the OSS series for this season. And it's going to be 3 cars wide now, down towards Stowe Corner. The 2 SR3s coming up the inside. Ash Hicklin's Class A car, a bit more power, goes through past both of them. Anthony Ayres goes past Alistair Smart too, and now he ducks in underneath Ash Hicklin. So this is a good battle. Hicklin on the inside for the Vale. Ayres on the outside, tries to brake later. Can he hang in around the outside? We'll give him the inside for the right-hander. He does, and he goes ahead. Yeah,
kind of forcing Hicklin to go wide, and that's allowed driver with them, that's Smart in the 73, the PR6, to actually get a better exit, get right in the toe in that big hole in the air that those SR3s are making.
Into the second half. Lead gap now down to 2.4 seconds. So Mattel's catching and catching and catching all the time, and now Martin Brooks is clear. He's lapping quicker than the 2 leaders. There's Norman Lapford just being lapped. How's he doing? He is 27th of the 30 starters. Best lap of 1 minute 10. So there's 12. 12 is Andrew Fido, so he's being lapped by Anthony Ayres up the inside there in the Mech-Tech car there. And there's 44, that's Andrew Kimpton, who's 7th, chasing Jules Griffiths. And yeah, he's still behind that car, but chasing them both is Michael Chen, isn't he? The Class B leader. But there's a lap car between them, and that lap car is number 6. That's Robert Gilman in his SR3, one of the invitational class cars.
So Stables had a better lap last time round. He's made a second on Scott Mattel. In second place, it's 3.4 seconds. Mattel is 2.3 ahead of Brooks in third. Then it's Hall, Smith, Griffiths. Kimpton hanging on to that 7th place. He's about 3 seconds clear of Michael Chen, who has Chris Preen in tow. They've shaken off Anthony Ayres and Ash Hicklin and Alistair Smart as well. Damage to the bodywork on that the SR1, isn't it?
I think so. That's Fraser McFadden. Good to see the SR1 out there, the entry-level car.
Another second pulled out by the leader. 4.3 now. That means 1.6 only between second and third. And Martin Brooks senses that second could be his. 1 car between him and Scott Mattel at the moment. And that is the 33 of Richard Hardy, who some years ago was kind of up the sharp end of these races.
Yes, I think that's the extra competition nowadays, isn't it? So turn through Stowe Corner then. And down into the Vale. There's car number 3. That is the Barry Liversidge SR3. That's one of the Breakall Racing run cars. Joe Stables completes another lap. A quarter of the race to go, 14 laps done. We did 19 earlier. The lead gap 4.6 seconds back to Scott Mattel, who now has Martin Brooks less than a second behind him. So Brooks, I think, still the quickest driver on the circuit. Just didn't go so well in the first half when it was pretty tightly fought racing. He was out front in the first race and was managed to get away. But in this race, didn't quite have perhaps the racecraft of those around him, wasn't quite as aggressive. And he's having to fight back. And Charles Hall and Josh Smith are certainly falling away in 4th and 5th.
And Chen's dropping Preen in that B battle, isn't he? He's now established a lead of nearly 3 seconds in that class. Michael Chen in the number 91 car.
He's better at 104.6, which is nearly a second away from Joe Stables' lap record from last season when he ran in that class. Yellow flag there going into the Vale. Can't see a car off, but presumably there is one.
Yep, there is.
Ian Charles possibly has gone missing, not sure. Yes, Ian Charles not.
We saw some yellow flags waving, but not the missing car.
Nearly 5-second lead now for Stables as Mattel is focusing on keeping Brooks behind, you would think.
Yeah, half a second between those two now.
Out onto the hanger straight they go. They're nearly 5 seconds clear of Charles Hall. And then Josh Smith in 5th.
Yes, you can see Charles Hall in the background of that bright green car on the hanger straight, but this is the battle we're looking at, 27, which is Scott Mittel, maths teacher from Southampton.
There he is then, 27. In the familiar Mattel Cars Works livery. Runs in 2nd place then, chasing, or trying to chase Joe Stables, but more with the focus behind him, Martin Brooks, returning to racing this season. Oh, and off the road there is at 12.
12, yeah.
That's Andrew Fido, novice cross on the back. Oh, and the second car involved, that's Alistair Smart. So I suspect Smart was trying to lap him, and it hasn't gone to plan. Now is he going to be able to get back going? If not, may have an early checkered flag, you would imagine. So Mattel trying to hold Brooks back. Is Brooks alongside this time, heading down
Not
towards
quite
Stowe?
at this point. Mattel closed across in front of the car he'd lapped, just to make sure he could command the approach to Stowe Corner. Down into the Vale, onto the brakes. That time the 99 car braked harder, Martin Brooks, and later. It's the exit he needs all the speed for, and he's got it because Mattel is tucked into the slipstream of the car in front of him. Mattel doesn't have the torque of the car of Brooks, and Brooks comes up the inside, but Mattel braves it out, runs wide, bounces over the rumble strip on the outside. Someone's gone smoky here. Can't see whether they've actually pulled off or whatever. There was suddenly a smoke screen from one of the cars.
I think it was the leader, Joe Stables, but I think he had a big lock-up. But the gap's come down to the leader, back to 3 seconds. But Martin Brooks got through, so good move there. 2 laps to go if we go the full distance.
Car's still on the outside there, isn't it?
Red flags. The red flags.
It's been flagged, okay.
So red
that
flags.
car in the dangerous place at the corner onto the end of the link onto Hanger Straight.
And that gives Scott Mattel the 2nd place back, won't it? Because they didn't complete the lap, which Brooks just got through. But it'll be Joe Stables then, his first overall win in Bikesports for a couple of seasons. Run mainly in Class B in recent years, but double reigning champion Joe Stables in 2018 and 2019 when he was racing mainly his SR3 Class B car. He is the winner here. From Scott Mattel and Martin Brooks, 4th Charles Hall and 5th Josh Smith. In Class B, Michael Chen beat Chris Preen and Anthony Ayres. But good racing all weekend from the Bikesports Championship, and with this really big grid, 30 cars, it absolutely delivered. 2 more rounds this season, 4 races, Oulton Park and Snetterton. Both meetings will be due to be live streamed by Alpha Live. So we shall look forward to seeing the full season of the Bikesports Championship on the live coverage. So the cars will come back to the pit lane and they have to clear that Alistair Smart car up. Thanks to Ben Maludi watching, so an excellent coverage. Formula V champion Ben Maludi. Jan Eckerman asking who's doing the commentary. Well, it's Marcus Pye alongside me, Joshua Barrett. Got Matt Suckling doing the good work down in the pit lane. Someone asking, how do I drive one of these? Well, as we said all weekend, head to the 750 Motor Club website and details will be there how you can get involved in motor racing. So thanks again for getting in touch. Keep those comments coming on the live stream. And you see the Silverstone wing. 2 weeks ago, it had back-to-back Formula 1 Grand Prix. But now it only had 20 cars in the wing. Now a lot more with the 750 Motor Club. About 350 entries over the 2 days. So a lot of the competitors going home after today, and we will welcome a whole load of others tomorrow. But we can now head down to the pit lane with the third voice of this Alpha Live coverage, and that is Matt Suckling.
So we're down here with our second place man in that race, that's Scott Mattel. Scott, well done, second place. Really hard fought race there between you and Martin right towards the end.
Yeah, it was a really good fun race. I got off well, much better start in this one, and we weren't catching the back markers as quickly, so it was nice to actually have a proper race with everyone. So I managed to get past Joss and then Martin and Charles. Got in chase after Joe, but then it was getting a little bit hot at the end there, so I was sort of managing temperatures, and then I saw Martin come and I sort of upped the pace again a bit, but fortunately for me I think it was cut short by a couple of laps. So
yeah, he just passed you there before the red flag, but as you said, it goes back to the count back there, so you do get this second place.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I hadn't given up yet, but yeah, it would have been hard to get past him, to be fair. So
not a bad start to the year for you so far. I've had a brace of podiums in class, which is good, keeps you up there in the championship.
Exactly, it's nice to be out here. We're the only 1000cc one out here, so a bit different to everyone else, and yeah, we've had 3 podiums now, so it keeps us up there in the championship.
Good stuff, well done, Scott.
Cheers, thank you.
There we go, Scott Mattel in second place. We'll have a quick chat as well with our third place man just over here, which is Martin, having a quick chat. Martin, well done, third place for you in that race. You had a great battle throughout with Scott Mattel.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, third or second. I got past him.
It's third, red flag, count back.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was a great race. I got completely mugged at the start. So it's only my second weekend of rolling starts, and I need to work on those. So I was down to fourth, I think, in the first corner. So, but then I had a great battle coming back. Got a bit of contact with Charles, which is a shame. But it was good to battle back through and to get past Scott. Okay, so the red flag takes second place away, but it was an exciting race and great fun. The cars are fantastic to drive, and Bikesports is a good place to be.
Certainly is, and of course, again for you, some good points this weekend, which is handy.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to have some fun. The championship comes as a consequence of it, so I'm just looking for good weekends and good racing and the occasional win. So far so good.
You've certainly done that. Well done, Martin.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well on to Martin. We'll have a quick chat as well with our race winner, which is Joe. Joe, do you want to come and join us over here if you wouldn't mind? And we'll have a chat with you after that race. Many congratulations. That was a much better race. You got out in front and didn't look back.
Yeah, I didn't hit a sausage curb this time, so part of the car wasn't damaged, so it felt much better. Miles better. I still had brake fade towards the end though, but luckily it got red flag for me, so happy.
It was good, great start as well. Nice rolling start there to get past Martin off the front row.
Yeah, Charles was having a dig at me from behind from somewhere, but luckily we got him down the straight and he wasn't much of a problem anymore. Yeah.
Your first weekend racing with Bikesports this year and 2 solid results.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Can't go any better.
Looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, if we're doing it, if all's good.
Good stuff, well done, Joe.
Thank you.
There we go then, our top 3 in that race. Joe Stay was there, our race winner. We also had Martin and Scott on the podium in that race as well. So 2 fantastic full grid Bikesport races here this weekend at Silverstone.